Closing arguments are now underway in New York at the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. The rap mogul has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, and 2 counts each of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. Prosecutors contend Combs forced his former girlfriends to take part in sexual performances that lasted for days. His defense counters that he believed the sex acts were consensual. If convicted, Combs could be sentenced to a maximum of 15 years if convicted on all charges. I want to bring in Michell Epner now, former federal prosecutor for the District of New Jersey. Good morning. Good to see you again, Michell. So the jury just sat down. What are they going to be hearing from the prosecution as closing arguments get underway after 6 weeks of testimony and I believe something like 34 witnesses? How will they wrap this one up?
So the government is going to be speaking for all of today. It's a very long closing statement. And the government's argument is going to be that Cassie Ventura and the 2 other women, who we only know as Mia and Jane, were the victims of a sex trafficking operation by Sean Combs that involved violence, threats of violence, blackmail, drugs, and the interstate transportation of male sex workers to create these days-long freak-offs frequently. I'm sorry. The defense, on the other hand, is going to argue that these 3 women were volunteers, that they made, as they said, and we discussed during opening statements, adult choices to participate in this, and that while Sean Combs's personal sex life might be distasteful to many people, it is not a crime.
So the prosecution, as I said, they called 34 witnesses over 6 weeks. The defense presented about 30 minutes. They didn't call any witnesses. Sean Diddy Combs did not take the stand. What does that signal to you about the defense strategy? What message were they trying to send to the jury, if you will?
So as a defense lawyer, most of the work that is done in a criminal trial is done on cross-examination. And the defense lawyers here did a tremendous amount of cross-examination of the prosecution's witnesses. It is more common than not that the defendant does not testify in a United States criminal trial. And it is very typical that the defense presents virtually no evidence themselves and does all of their work. All of their work on cross-examination. The message that the defense is going to share during their closing argument is that they were able to get their case in through the prosecution's witnesses because they were able to get a lot of admissions, particularly from Mia and Jane, about their willingness to participate and what seems like voluntary activity on their part that lasted long after the events that the government says turn them from volunteers into victims.
So the judge will charge the jury. It looks like they could start deliberating maybe late tomorrow. I don't know if they would wait until Monday. I don't know how that typically works, but a final thought from you on that. And just overall, do you think that the prosecution presented a strong case here? What's your sense?
So the plan is for the jury to start deliberating on Monday morning. I think that the government's case started very strongly. The presentation that they made at the beginning with regard to Cassandra Ventura and the evidence of the really horrific beating that's on video of her in the Intercontinental Hotel was jarring to watch. I think that the last half of the government's case did not go in as smoothly for them, and the defense was able to make a lot of points on cross-examination. So I think it is possible that the government will get a conviction. It's possible that the defense will get an acquittal. It's possible that we will get a hung jury. Anybody who says they know what a jury will do or how long it will take them to do it is either lying to you, lying to themselves, or much smarter than anyone I have ever met.
My translation of what you're saying is anything's possible. All right, well, we'll see.
100%.
Right. Thank you, Michell. Michell Epner is an attorney and former federal prosecutor. Appreciate you being with us this morning.